We are back with more Plants vs Zombies 2 Reflourished. In the first video I done Ancient Egypt to Far Future, and in this video I'm going to be doing Dark Ages and Big Wave Beach. In the last video I did do 4 worlds and this one only has 2, but there's a few other quests I do, and also these worlds are much more difficult than the previous 4. Yeah, enjoy! Before going to the next world I decided to check the shop again, which if you didn't know resets every day, so there's always new costumes to get. And there was a King of Dragons costume for Snapdragon. Of course I had to get this one. It's King!
2 warriors battling to the death!
Ah, I see we're getting enough Wi-Fi through the portal for cat videos.
Now it's time for the next world, the Dark Ages. Since it's the Dark Ages, it's, well, dark. In other words, sun no longer falls from the sky, so I have to rely on the sun I gain from plants. Luckily we're introduced to a new plant, Sunshroom, their main ability being turning frowns upside down. Oh, and they give us sun. Starting small, generating 25 sun, throughout the level growing in size and producing more sun up to a maximum of 75. Luckily to help out, some gravestones give sun when you break them, which is why I'm using Gravebuster quite a bit in this world. Also look, I'm finally making use of the plant I got. I won't show much from this level since it was a simple one, but you'll see more of this plant since I use it in most of the levels in this world. And of course, completing this level gave us a Sunshroom. Level 2... Wait, I spelled that wrong. There we go. Level 2 I decided to use Tile Turnip, more so because I wanted to try using it again. There's no other reason, to be honest. During this level we get to use Perfume. This is a free to play plant costing no sun, however they do expire after a little bit of time. I'll be honest, I didn't really make much good use out of it on this level, but I do later on. I'd say that's the reason why this zombie got so close, but I managed to stop him from losing me a lawnmower. Unlike before, completing this level gave us Perfume. Just like the gravestones I spoke about earlier, we are now getting gravestones which give us plant food, which ends up being useful in a few levels. There's nothing interesting from this level to show, I just wanted to point that out really. Level 4 is this world's first conveyor belt level, where we get to use a new plant, Hypnoshroom. When a zombie eats Hypnoshroom, they turn around and start being hostile towards other zombies, which can be insanely useful. This was a pretty easy level and surprisingly it didn't unlock us Hypnoshroom. Instead we got a Fume Shroom, whose attacks go through zombies. I'm gonna say shroom a lot in this world, aren't I? It's recommended to use this plant against the Jester Zombie. The Jester Zombie can turn into a tornado, which regular projectiles such as Cabbage Pot's attack can't damage. The only problem is, in my opinion anyway, even though the game recommends using this plant against this zombie, it feels as if it doesn't do that much damage, at least not on its own early on in the level. The Jester Zombie managed to get through this walnut without dying to the Fume Shroom. I did use a power up to deal with this one. Why? I do not know. I have to plan my defences again for level 6. There's a lot of gravestones which Gravebuster would have been useful for. Zero cost, but you can't use zero... Oh my god. But you can't use 0 sun cost plants in these levels. I tried using Cabbage Pot so I don't have to worry about the gravestones getting in the way. I also used... as well as Bonk Choy and Fume Shroom to help with the Jester Zombie. It went well at the start, but nearing the end is where it got a little bit more tricky. Even though I could have won this round, I didn't want to win while losing all my lawnmowers, so I restarted. This time I used Bloomerang. That went about as well as you would expect, to be honest. Don't know what I was thinking there. I needed some help, so I went to the Zen Garden and boosted Cabbage Pulp, which it turns out you can't use boosted plants on this type of level. So I just gave it a go with what I had, this time using Bloomerang again, as well as Fume Shroom and... No! I also made sure to save the plant food for the walnuts, and this worked much better. After that painful level, we unlock Sunbeam. Once a zombie eats Sunbeam, they will drop a small amount of sun when they're damaged. It can be pretty useful. I took a break and came back the next day, meaning there's another level of the birthday event. So I played that and got myself a costume for 3 Peter. For the next level I used Magnifying Grass, because I find this plant funny and I have no idea why. Don't worry, I won't be using it much from here. This next level had the plants chosen for me. It was a bit of a messy one with the only attacking plant being Fume Shroom, but I did get to use Hypnoshroom again at least, so that's good. This got us a costume for Cherry Bomb. We come across another new level type for level 9. There's potions on the ground which zombies consume when walked on, giving them different effects, such as speed boost and damage reduction and a few more things, although the level wasn't too difficult. This next one, however, we get a little message from Zomboss. Well met, not very noble lord. It is my fervent medical opinion that your humans are out of balance. Methinks the siphoning of thine brains is the only way to correct this ailment. Fare thee ill, Dr. Edgar Zomboss. This time we have to survive a massive attack with no lawnmowers. There were a few gravestones, but they're not too much of a problem. This imp spawned behind my plants, which I didn't know was going to happen, so I did use a power up to deal with him quickly. Don't judge me. I started planting potato mines at the back to stop zombies that get past my plants, which did help a little bit. But I ended up getting pushed back quite far and 2 gargantuas came along, but I managed to push one back using plant food on the fume shroom. But the second one managed to make it through, which was a shame since it was the last zombie. I tried again, this time placing the plants further back to deal with the zombies that spawned farther in. I also saved my plant food for the walnuts again. Although it did get close, I just kept on spamming plants on this gargantua to slow him down, which did work, unlocking the key for the next world. This next level I have a lot of fume shrooms. Also, quick side note, I hate these wizard zombies. They turn my plants into sheep. Anyway, I got a costume for Chili Bean. With level 12 I had to protect these plants, but I messed up pretty much instantly. Forgot that puff shrooms expire after a while. To stop them from disappearing I have to use plant food on them. The good thing is I only need to use it on one since it activates the plant food on all of them. I ended up having a really good lineup the second time, and of course, saving my plant food for puff shroom, I beat the level unlocking Arthur's challenge, which is this world's endless mode. In the next level I get to try out a new plant, which is essentially a pea shooter and walnut in one. It was a quick and easy level though, giving me a free use of power zap. Level 14 required me to produce 5000 sun. I'm not allowed to use sun producing plants other than Sunbeam. I'm also using Gravebuster to use on the gravestones to get some more sun. Unfortunately, after my first try I was 350 sun off from beating the level, so I tried again. This time also bringing iceberg lettuce. Taking this plant did help a bit since I could slow down the zombies, letting me get more sun and beating the level. Now I have to plan my defences again. It's going to be just the zombies, so I took fume shrooms with me. Also decided to use 3 Peterses, so I haven't used him that much. Also he got his top hat. He's so handsome. These 2 zombies got through my plants quickly, so I restarted since I wasn't dealing with only 3 lawnmowers that early on. This time I had to go a new strategy, using fume shroom, snapdragon and walnut, which I'm honestly pretty happy with. I also saved plant food specifically for the walnuts. This lineup worked perfectly until this old man turned my plants into the sheep again, causing me to lose all my lawnmowers. I really don't like him. At least the zombies died in time. Beating this level gave me Magnet Shroom. Magnet Shroom removes metal objects from zombies, such as helmets for example. I used this plant on the next level and it's very useful. I just had to deal with this annoying zombie. And this annoying zombie. And this annoying... Okay, Gargantua isn't annoying. He's just a big boy. But I managed to stop him before getting to my beautiful, questionable brain. Level 18 wasn't too difficult from previous ones with wizard and king zombies, although I did have my plants chosen for me, which was honestly a pretty good setup, so I was pretty happy with this level. This time I got a costume for Split Pea. Now I have to protect these magnet shrooms. I noticed there was going to be a gargantua, so I was worried about that. I used plant food on the walnuts as usual. Then 2 gargantuas came along, but luckily they went down the lanes without the endangered plants, so that's good. It's boss fight time against this veiny dude again. A question for you, my ignoble foes. Hast thou noted how violent thine plants become upon consuming plant food? Perchance hast thou wondered what plant food is truly made of? Verily I shall tell thee, it's zombies. Yeah, Zomboss how plant food is supposedly made of zombies. That's impossible. So of course Penny decided to run some tests while we fight for our lives. This time I'm fighting a dragon. Rawr. I'm sorry. He occasionally shoots fire down 2 lanes, which does destroy my plants. The good thing about this though is that it also destroys zombies in those lanes. Unfortunately though, he sends jester zombies, which if you remember from earlier, I really despise. But I do manage to delete the first part of his health bar. He destroys these lanes, but luckily I had some plants ready to plant. Yeah, that sounds okay. Although I did use plant food on this fume shroom to push back the gargantua, since he would have definitely lost me a lawnmower there, which I didn't want to lose at this point. He sends in 2 more gargantuas and I use plant food to push back another one. Then the wizard zombie comes along and does his usual trick of turning plants into sheep, which did get really close to screwing me over, I'll be honest, but I did use plant food and Colonel Bolt to slow them down, which did actually end up helping, and I managed to deal with them without losing any lawnmowers surprisingly. A few of my plants got turned into sheep again, but the rest of my plants were just able to do enough damage to kill Zomboss. And now Penny is back. What convenient timing! He has finished doing the tests on plant food and luckily it didn't contain any zombie or zombie byproducts, which is good because plants shouldn't eat zombies who eat plants who eat zombies who eat plants who eat zombies who eat plants who eat zombies who eat... Why dost thine time-travelling jalopy lie to thee? Perchance a question best left for another day. Now I pray, imagine maniacal laughter as I depart. Ha ha ha. I'm not including that. And as usual, I got another trophy. Before going on to the next world, I noticed I have a new epic quest called Flame On. This quest unlocks me Torchwood, which I previously thought I had to complete 8 normal levels to unlock him. However, I need to play these 8 specific levels made just for this quest. I realised that after playing the first level of the next world, I'm just going to rearrange things a little bit for the video, and I'm going to show you this quest first and then the next world. Although there is timestamps if you want to skip this part. Also put the time to skip to on screen if you don't want to watch this. But just before that, I go to the shop and notice something beautiful. Vocaloid. I think I said that right. It's Hatsune Miku. I love it so much. Oh my god. Now it's time to unlock Torchwood. As it turns out, messing with time travel has some consequences. If only every sci-fi film ever would have told us this. Some plants have been dispersed throughout time and space, which is what happened to our friend Torchwood here. So we have to save him. Even though Crazy Dave isn't too sure about this since he owes Torchwood 20 bucks. Come on, Dave. The first level isn't anything special, but we do start with 3 Torchwoods already placed down for us. If you don't know, Torchwood's main gimmick is setting peas on fire that travel through it. It's a good plant, just takes a bit of time to set up, but this was a quick first level though. Level 2 however introduces us to a brand new mechanic for this mod. Basically, the more Torchwoods you plant in a row, the more damage the peas will do. As you can see here, the fire on the pea turns blue. Although using plant food on Torchwood does permanently make your peas blue, this is still a good change. It can be stacked up more than twice as well, which you will see in a second. I ended up with the setup of plants, which was insanely good. Now I have to protect these Torchwoods, and since it's a Pirate Seas level, I'm using Twin Sunflower like I did in the previous video, as well as using the plants I usually go for with this world. This one was pretty easy, but this Gargantua did get way too close, which was pretty stressful, but I dealt with him just in time. This time I have 5 plants chosen for me. I won't show much from this level since it was an easy one, with none of the zombies getting past my defences. This next level however was much more difficult. If you remember from the Wild West levels, this is one of the conveyor belt levels where you see which zombies are going to come from each lane. Also in this level, every single row has a minecart, which you would think is a good thing since you can just move plants to any lane that needs them. Well, you would be wrong. You do not want to know how many attempts this took. There's a new imp which is from a world I haven't visited yet, so I didn't know that they're immune to fire. Luckily I did figure it out though, but it was pretty close. I tried attacking one lane at a time since the fire damage would stack 3 times, which did work here. I also ended up plant fooding this guy since he hasn't lost any health yet and I didn't have any lawnmowers. Is plant fooding a word? Anyway, now I got some extra protection because of the Gargantua came along, which destroyed one of my Torchwoods. I noticed another new feature with this plant. When destroyed it does fire damage along the lane, which probably did help against this guy. I took a quick break and played another level of the birthday event. The problem is I haven't come across these plants yet, so I have no idea how most of them work. So this guy just sat there like a goofball doing absolutely nothing other than being adorable. I did figure it out eventually and moved him forwards though. Doing this gave me a costume for Coconut Cannon. Now I'm back to saving Torchwood, where this time I can't lose more than 14 plants. It was a quick level since, as I found out in my last video, using plant food on 3 feeder is kinda busted, especially when using Torchwood. And I finally unlocked Torchwood after all of that. Now it's time to go on to the new world finally, being Big Wave Beach, which has everything a beach needs, sun and lots of water. The unique part of this world is said water. There's only a couple plants that can be placed on it, however you can place any plant on top of the lily pad which costs 25 sun. The first level was an easy one as usual, which of course gave us the most useful plant for this world, being the lily pad. Level 2 introduces us to a completely unheard of mechanic, the tide. Especially when a new wave of zombies arrive, the tide may come in or go out, although it can only go up to the seaweed here. As you can see here, I used a fairly simple setup with magnet shroom, which worked wonders actually. Penny says that we need a plant with the appetite of a shark, that plant being Chomper. This is another one of my beloved conveyor belt levels, which gives us 2 rows of Chompers, making this a very quick level. Level 4 was another easy one, giving us a costume for Spring Bean, and next is another conveyor belt level, which lets us use this new plant. You can place it on water without a lily pad and it will drag a zombie down, instantly killing them. This plant is called Tangle Kelp, which we unlock in the next level. Now it's time for some bowling. We use a plant called Bowling Bulb. I usually like the bowling mini games with Walnut, but I'm not sure why, I just don't find it as fun with these plants unfortunately. There's 3 different bowling bulbs I can use, which only one of them really do any decent damage. But I end up completing it, which gives me 10 gems. Level 9 requires me not to plant on Dave's mold colonies again. Luckily there were already some lily pads on the water so I can start planting sunflowers straight away. You might notice a zombie whose bald head is poking out of the water. Basically when the zombie is in the water, plants such as Pea Shooter here can't attack him. So I used Tangle Kelp to get him out of here. Once I have walnuts placed down it's easy though since they come up to eat my boy. The next level wasn't anything too special, but we are introduced to some new imps. They're pretty weak, however they do become a bit of a problem later on. Level 10 is another conveyor belt level, where we mostly get bowling bulbs. I can see that they would be pretty good if you have a lot of them planted, however I won't be using them that much personally. I had to prepare my defences for this level. I tried using cabbage pulp and wintermelon. I wasn't expecting this to work, which of course it didn't. I was just more curious on how well wintermelon would do here since I haven't used him much. To be fair, I did make it further than expected. I tried again multiple times, but before we get into that, let me explain this dude. This is the surfer zombie, which as you may have guessed, has a surfboard. He comes in surfing, of course, until he gets to land or comes in contact with a plant. When on land, he holds a surfboard above his head, meaning projectiles that attack from above, such as cabbage pulp and wintermelon, can't damage him, only his surfboard. However, when he gets close enough to a plant, he will slam the board into the sand, destroying the plant, leaving it in the sand, which blocks certain plants' projectiles. I tried again multiple times, trying to figure out a good counter against him. I tried using 3-peter and cabbage pulp, but that did not work. And I had an idea. I have those sometimes. I make use of infinite.
Okay, pause. That's not even the right plant.
I mean, it's close enough, right?
When are you going to stop using the same bit over and over again?
As soon as I find...
Again? Really?
It wasn't me this time, seriously. I was going to say as soon as I find Omni-Man.
Where is he? Where is Omni-Man?
Then who played the title card? Unless it was
Hey,
the
God.
editor?
yeah, my bad, guys.
All good, mistakes happen.
Yeah, just like this whole bit.
Huh?
I just wanted to do a Seisgate on the video, but this is just terrible and honestly taking up way too much time. We've likely lost majority of the audience by now.
You're right, this is a waste of time. Why am I even writing this right now? Oh, I don't think this is my line.
No, it's not. I forgot I had that in there, to be honest.
So, what now?
But let's just get back to the video. I'm deleting the title card now.
I make use of infinite since if I plant food him, the surfer zombies can't squish him with a surfboard. As long as they're not in the same lane as him anyway. That did help, so I ended up using him for most of the levels in this world. For day 14 I had to survive with the given plants. We do get to use my boy Chomper again though, which is good. There's not much to show from this level apart from losing 3 lawnmowers. Completing this level gave us a costume for Tile Turnip, where he gets to look handsome with a top hat. I realised I wasn't recording level 15 until there was only 1 zombie left. My bad. We found a bungo card. Penny corrects him and she gets a bingo. In a way. It's conveyor belt time, baby!
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
First, we have a message from the big man himself. Not you, man, sorry. I'm sorry in advance for this, by the way. Dude, like, you're totally in for it now. Okay, I'm not doing that whole thing. Basically, he's setting a bunch of gargantuars at us. That dude is totally gnarly. Yeah, that's okay, that's enough of that. I'm sorry. I'm not doing any more of that. For this level, we have to survive with no lawnmowers, and we have to use bowling bulb. Yay. We do get Chomper again though, so that's a plus. I use him to eat the surfer zombie because screw that guy. Unfortunately, 2 more came along and destroyed 2 of my Chompers. So I used plant food on a bowling bulb to get rid of a surfboard. Then a Gargantua appeared. He got quite close, so I did use plant food to deal with him, since he would have got past otherwise. The rest of the level was a similar thing, using plant food to get rid of any surfboards in the way. Although these 2 Gargs got close, so I just did the classic thing of spamming plants on them, but that didn't work. I had another go, this time moving the Trumpet and Walnut forwards by 1 so I can have an extra row of bowling bulbs. And yeah, that went much better. I don't know why I didn't do that the first time. Beating this level gave us a key to the next world, Frostbite Caves. At this point I had 100 gems, so I thought I'd have a look at the shop to see if there's any plants that could help with the surfer zombies. I looked through a few plants and went with Pokra, since this plant can pierce, which would hopefully make it easier to deal with the surfer zombies. I'll explain what he does in a minute. Oh, we also got a Torchwood costume for beating level 17. Dave says the surfer zombies are the pits, which gives Penny an idea, and she calls him a genius. I never thought I'd hear someone call him that. Never mind. Crocodile is the next plant we get to try out. It does shoot projectiles, but the main use of this plant is being when a zombie gets up close to it. When the zombie gets close enough, Crocodile will shoot himself through the lane, dealing big damage. The only downside being you do lose him, so he'll need to be planted again. You can also place the plant on water without needing a lily pad. However, it would be submerged in the water, so it can't do its long range attack. Though when the surfer zombie gets to it, it still places the surfboard down. but our hungry boy still goes ahead and eats their dick. Crocodile is a very good plant, and in hindsight, I probably don't make as much use out of it as I should do in this world. But yeah, level 19 was a quick one, permanently unlocking as Crocodile. As I said before, Pokora is a plant that can pierce. He's a melee plant which inflicts poison on enemies. Also occasionally he will shoot a projectile which pierces as well. Pokora seems to be a really good plant, the only downside being the cost of 250 sun, making it difficult to get a good setup without the right sun producing plants. However, once you manage to get them placed in each lane, it's insanely good. We got our hands on a strange statue of Surfing Era Significance, and this gives us access to another endless mode. Crazy Dave suggests we get a plant with a lot of attitude, which means we get to try another new plant, Homing Thistle. As you may have guessed, this plant shoots thistles that homes in on zombies, meaning it can also attack zombies on any lane. Thistles. Oh my god, what is with me today? Its thistles can also go through surfboards. Unfortunately, this level didn't give us the plant, but we do get some money, which is always nice. Again, I'm using Colonel Pole since he can hit snorkel zombies, as well as immobilize surfer zombies for a little bit. Oh, as well as, hopefully, stunning the fisherman zombie so he doesn't drag my plants into the damn water. This level didn't go too terribly, but we had to deal with this guy who covers my plants with octopuses, octopi. We dealt with the bastard, so I got ourselves a costume for Cabbage Pole. Now we have to protect these three majestic bananas. This is the banana launcher. When I click on it, I can choose a location for it to attack, dealing massive damage. And when I say massive damage, it is massive damage. It can kill Gargantuan in 2 hits. Yeah, he's a strong boy. He has quite a long recharge time, but of course that makes sense with the damage. I used pretty much the same lineup of plants as usual. Next was another bowling level. It was a quick and easy one, earning us some money. Okay, now it's time for a level I spent way too much time on, day 25. Before I get into this, I want to say I think I spent about 2 hours on this one level. For this one, I can't spend more than 3,500 sun. I also have to defeat 10 zombies within 5 seconds. For my first try, I used pea shooters and bonk choice. I did make it to the end of the level, only to realise I completely forgot that I had to kill 10 zombies in 5 seconds, so of course I try again. I had another go using the same plants, but I spent too much sun. I tried using a boosted Colonel Pole, making him cheaper to plant. I was fully expecting this to work, since I can plant a lot more attacking plants. Nearing the end of the level, I have lost many lawnmowers. I also completed the goal of defeating 10 zombies within 5 seconds. Surely nothing else could go wrong from here. Right? Let's try that again, shall we? I brought a repeater and infinite with me, although this time I'm not using the boosted Colonel Pole. I'm not sure why I didn't take Cherry Bomb for this, but this went about as well as every other attempt. I was desperately pulling at straws here, trying anything I could to beat this godforsaken level. So naturally, I try using only Lightning Reed, and Laser Beam and Snapdragon, and again, and again, and again. Is what I would say if I failed this attempt, but that's far from the truth. Saving my cherry bomb for big groups of zombies, infinite stopping surface zombies from being an absolute pain in my backside, my beautiful, beautiful king. This went perfectly. All of that work went towards me unlocking a costume for a plant I rarely ever use. Let's move on to the next level, shall we? This is another conveyor belt level where I only use bananas. That's all there is to say, to be honest. Now I have to prepare my defences, but most of the plants have been picked for me. We get to use Banana Launcher again, as well as Bonk Choi. The plants I added were Infinite and Tangle Kelp. I started the level with planting 2 rows of twin sunflowers until I had all my defences placed, and I started to remove a row of sunflowers to make room for more banana launchers. Because of the insane damage from him, it was another easy level, and of course we unlocked him as well. For this one I can't lose more than 12 plants. I took the banana launcher so I can get rid of Fisherman Zombie quickly. Unfortunately, a surfer zombie came along and destroyed my infinite, which completely screwed me over. I tried again, this time using magnifying grass and a bunch of sun producing plants. I did also place an infinite just in case a magnet shroom so I don't have to spend extra sun to defeat buckethead zombies. And as expected, this made the level much easier. It's time to protect our boy Crocodile. I used a Laser Beam and Snapdragon, which worked perfectly. This level unlocks a new costume for Twin Sunflower. We get to use Homing Thistle again for this level. but the plants are chosen for me. However, the only way to get sun is through the natural sun that falls and sunbeam. For some reason this level is actually very easy, so much so that I somehow beat it using only 2 homing thistles. And we finally made it to another boss fight against our hygienic zombie, Zomboss. Before that though, he mentions that Chomper and Bikini Zombie have been getting extra cozy lately, and he tries to make us question Chomper's loyalties. Well, I wouldn't know how loyal he is because I haven't unlocked him yet. I'm sorry, I really want him. This time, Zomboss is in a big ass metal shark. I start with bowling bulbs and banana launcher. He instantly used the banana on Zomboss, dealing a good amount of damage right off the bat. We also get homing thistle and the occasional crocodile. This time he doesn't squish my plants, however there are smaller sharks which eat my plants from the water, which was a bit of an inconvenience. However, I did manage to get the first part of his health bar down, stunning him briefly. I don't think he liked that much though, since he spawned 4 gargantuars. That's fun, yay! One of them caused me to lose a lawnmower sadly. I also used plant food to get rid of one, and I used banana launcher on another. He sent in a big group of zombies, but I had another plant food spare, so that helped me deal with them. Zomboss is getting low now, but he starts sending in even more zombies. Luckily I had banana launcher and a few offensive plants already on those lanes. He was basically on 1 hit left, so the pussy went underwater. But he came back up and died instantly. Of course we get another trophy, and now Crazy Dave is fixated on this plant zombie romance. Don't worry Dave, he was just trying to deceive you. Oh boy, here we go. Totally bogus. Little do you know what I have in store for you. The seeds of destruction have been planted. Brace yourselves for a wipeout. But for now, I gotta split. Catch you dweebs later. I cannot do that voice well, can I? Okay, we're gonna. I'm not doing that ever again. I'm sorry. I know I've said that every time, but like, I'm actually stopping now.